Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Whittemore Speedway, Michigan's oldest continuously operating racetrack. As always, we have some great racing action in store for you tonight, so sit back and enjoy the show. Every story has a beginning, and this one started in 1948 when a traveling carnival was unable to appear for the Whittemore homecoming that the fire department sponsored. An idea to have a jalopy race was favored by Clifford Burkholder and others, and the two car dealerships in town, Williams Drengberg and Graham's, offered to donate some cars for the event. Henry Snyder offered his property to hold the races on, so the townspeople went to work and built a racetrack using old tires for the turns and some strategically placed plow furrows to keep the cars at a reasonable speed. A refrigerated truck to store ice cream was brought in, games and activities were organized for the children, and racing began at Whittemore. Of course, not everything can go as planned, and racing was delayed for the lack of a yellow flag. The crisis was soon solved, however, when George Snyder produced his wife's new yellow blouse with the price tag still on it. These fine people, banded in community spirit, started Michigan's oldest continuously operating speedway. The racing was an immediate success, and soon the Whittemore Race Club was formed. The charter was adopted and recorded. In keeping with their community spirit, this nonprofit club immediately started helping two polio victims' families. The racing format for each event was organized in the early 50s. The athletic boosters from Whittemore started a concession stand, and the band boosters provided a band to play the Star-Spangled Banner each Saturday night. In 1952, the track had a major facelift. In 4 short seasons, racing had become so popular, it was decided that the track should be banked and reduced to its present size of 1/4 mile. Once again, the community rolled up their sleeves and went to work. Ida Dorsey planned the track layout. Nelson Ostrander donated soil. George Snyder, Jake Lehman, George Grabo, and Arden Charters donated trucks, fuel, and drivers to haul materials. A water well was drilled, a crash wall was built, grandstands were added, and lights for night racing were installed. Floyd Friel and Sam Boger donated their electrical skills for lighting, and a host of others from the community donated their time and skills to provide the area an exciting track to watch stock car racing. Whittemore had truly become a community track, with cars and drivers coming from Whittemore, Hale, Twining, Prescott, Mayo, Turner, Augray, Tawas, and West Branch, to name a few. The track was gaining a reputation for exciting racing from the driver's standpoint and an enjoyable Saturday night out for the fans. As racing gained in popularity at Whittemore and the fans filled the grandstands, entertaining new attractions were brought in. The carnival atmosphere that brought racing to Whittemore was reinvented with companies like the Ward Bean Daredevil Show, which brought brand new cars to the track and displayed skills of precision driving, driving on 2 wheels, and jumping ramp to ramp. Local drivers and car owners also provided Daredevil entertainment, highlighted by Chet Button driving the Graham-owned race car through the wall of fire. Whittemore Speedway was fast becoming the place to be on a Saturday night. As the 50s drew to a close, the race club continued to add to the speedway new items such as the elevated announcer's stand. The club had also implemented a judging and scoring system for the cars and drivers and a rule book for competitive racing. 60s brought a new era of racing to Whittemore. The pit area was relocated to the center of the track, and the horsepower from the 50s was in full force. Stock car racing was starting its heyday. Promotions for the Speedway met with great success, and the fans couldn't get enough. Amateur shows became a favorite fundraising event. The community support was overwhelming, and this was due in large part to the wives of the club members and drivers. The effort these women gave to these events had a direct influence on the amount of money the club donated back to the community. The late 60s brought a new breed of race car to Whittemore and a new level of racing excitement. The 1932 Ford Coupe was the favorite body style for the modified division, so named since these race cars were not completely stock. The 32 Ford seemed a perfect match for this 1/4 mile dirt track oval, and the qualifying times proved it as the cars went faster and faster. The stock car division also continued to race at the Speedway, so now the fans had double the racing excitement each and every Saturday night. Several driver owners had multi-car teams, with some racing as many as 3 cars each week. Sponsorships were becoming prominent on the sides of the race cars, and the future for racing at Whittemore never looked brighter. Race cars filled the pit, fans filled the seats, and Saturday night racing at Whittemore Speedway was here to stay. The 70s brought more class division to the track, with the late model superstocks making their debut. Handling and horsepower soon made these muscle cars the crowd favorite. Making racing safer at these higher speeds became an important issue with the race club. The safer stock-bodied race cars took precedence over the open-wheeled modified race cars that had been a staple of racing at Whittemore for so long. What many would consider to be the modern era had come to Whittemore Speedway after more than 25 years of racing experience. The race club had progressively met new challenges with innovative ideas and community support. This nonprofit club continued to make improvements to the track and its racing program to make stock car racing exciting at Whittemore. At the same time, the club continued to support the community by helping the fire department, the Whittemore High School band, and local families in need. As time would prove, the racing club at Whittemore was just getting started. 1988 changed the face of racing at Whittemore forever. Gone was the dirt track that had witnessed almost 30 years of racing. In its place was laid a new asphalt surface that would allow the cars better traction and higher speed. The first night of racing on the new surface was a learning experience. No one could be certain how the cars would perform or if the track would allow for too wide racing. Adjustments to the cars were made as the first night wore on. Drivers and crews talked excitedly about new strategies and future plans, and a new era of stock car racing began at Whittemore. Of course, handling, horsepower, and speed are what the drivers and crews are after, and it didn't take these racers long to figure out this new 1/4 mile oval. Two months after the track was paved, a row of rumble strips or speed bumps were added in all 4 turns at the bottom of the track to protect the new surface. This served 2 purposes. It kept the track clean from dirt off the infield, since the race car could not race effectively on the strips, and it protects the very edge of the track from crumbling, since the cars cannot race on it. Brand new new pavement and going fast doesn't mean that the racing will be exciting. To have good stock car racing, you need to have a track that allows for two-wide racing at any point in the circuit. Watch as the white number 7 passes cars on the high side and the white number 11 races for the win on the bottom. Saturday night racing can get everyone involved at the track, even the spectators. Several times during the season, the club lets the spectators race their cars one-on-one. These are spectator drags, and this is white flag racing. There is always something new and exciting going on at Whittemore Speedway. Community support is needed to keep the racing going at Whittemore Speedway, but supporting the community is what makes this race club unique. Fundraisers to support hospice, the Whittemore Fire Department, muscular dystrophy, individual medical needs from around the community, Christmas baskets, Little League Baseball, the Whittemore Band Boosters, overseas education, the Shriners, the Community Horse Arena, the library, and the purchase of park benches and Christmas decorations for the community of Whittemore are just a few of the worthy projects this club supports. Whittemore Speedway has been supporting winners since 1985 with local scholarship awards. Several area schools are involved, and any graduating senior from these schools is eligible to receive a scholarship. To date, 48 deserving young men and women have received more than $28,000. The Whittemore Race Club believes in community support. Enduro racing takes on an entire new look when seen through the eyes of the in-car camera. 3 enduro dates are usually scheduled each year, and this 250-lap race has turned into a real crowd pleaser. Upwards of 80 cars have started this race, and with no yellow flag and 3-wide racing, this makes for real excitement. As the sport of stock car racing has changed, so has the Speedway. New grandstands were added in 1996 to improve the spectators' comfort and increase seating capacity. New concession stands were built in both the pit area and main grandstand area. New pavement for pedestrian traffic was installed throughout the facility, which gives Michigan's oldest continuously operating speedway a brand new look. The track averages 50.5 feet wide, with up to 10.7 degrees banking in turns 1 and 2. Turns 3 and 4 have up to 11.5 degrees of banking. The back stretch is banked 7 degrees, and the front stretch is 2.5 degrees. Lap times for the fastest race cars are in the low 13-second range. Whittemore Speedway was born when a carnival could not keep its commitment. It was intended to be used for a short time and for entertainment only. No one has ever owned it. No one ever predicted it would become what it has 50 years later. So why is the track still here? How did Whittemore Speedway become the oldest continuously operating racetrack in Michigan? How has this track been able to keep pace and update and improve the facility? The answer is community support. The charter members of the track all were businessmen or leaders of the community. Whittemore Speedway was founded by the community.
the Whittemore Speedway. This is what race cars at the Speedway looked like in the early 50s. In fact, this is a race car I drove. Now today, as you can see, there have been many changes, not only in the cars, but also in racing, as the Whittemore Speedway celebrates its 50th anniversary.
As we race into the 90s and beyond, Whittemore Speedway will continue to be run by dedicated men and women of the community. The commitment that failed 50 years ago produced another commitment to provide quality family entertainment and support to the people who helped keep racing alive for 50 continuous years. So as you can see, the track has gone full circle. It is giving back to those who need help. It is promoting winning by competing, not just on the track, but off. It's not just getting older, it's getting better. And I would be willing to predict it will be around for another 50 years.